Hi kids, it's good to see you all virtually today. My name is Kuya Hans. I am a teacher at the junior high school department, so you guys have probably seen me in campus already. But other than that, today I am going to be your speaker for this session. We are going to talk about something very interesting and important at the same time. So I hope that you stay on your seat and you listen intently to what I am going to share today. Definitely this will change your life. Believe me. Alright, so what we're going to talk about today, kids, is effective leadership and starting your own leadership journey. So before we start with that, I have a very important question to ask all of you. Before answering the question, I want everybody to sit properly wherever you are. You may be in your bedroom, in your sala, in the kitchen of your house while you're eating. Sit properly. Close your eyes. I want you to breathe in, breathe out, and think about this question. At your age right now, do you already consider yourself a leader? If your answer is yes, give me a virtual heart. Yes, like this. But if your answer is no, give me a broken heart like this too. Well, if you answer yes and you think that you are already a leader at this age, then good for you. If you're watching this video, that means that our job is to make you become a better leader than you are today. But if your answer is no, do not worry, because this is the sign that today your leadership journey begins. Alright, so today we are going to talk about leadership. But before anything else, let's define leadership. What is leadership? Now, by definition, leadership means guiding or leading a particular group of people or an organization in order to achieve a goal or an objective. Now, leadership is something that I really dedicate my life with. I am very passionate about leadership. In fact, I have so many passions in life. I'm passionate about life in general. I'm passionate about theater. I'm passionate about singing. I'm passionate about painting and the arts. But one of the things that I really want to do is to lead young kids like you, children and youth, in order for them to become leaders in the future. Because according to Jose Rizal, our national hero, the youth of today is the future of this country. Something like that. Alright, so allow me to bring you back to my first leadership experience. And just like you guys, I was also an elementary student, a grade 5 student. And during that year, I was elected as the president of my classroom. And the very first thing that I thought of was that I'm going to be the president of the Philippines with the role that I am given. Of course, when I was in elementary, this was a public elementary school. We didn't have very defined roles and responsibilities yet. So the very first thing that my teacher said to me when I was elected president was that she handed me the key to our classroom. Right? It was the only responsibility that was given to me as the president. She asked me to be the one who opens the classroom every morning at exactly 7 a.m. Now, that's something that the me right now cannot relate. You know, waking up that early, and I think you guys can also relate to that because sleep is life, right? But after I was given that task by my teacher and the responsibility to hold the key and to open our classroom every morning before any of my classmates would arrive, that was a responsibility that I held dearly in my heart. Through discipline, I really disciplined myself. I told myself I had to wake up every morning that early so that I can prove to them that the responsibility given to me is something I can do. So I did that for the entire year. And you know, I learned a lot with that first leadership role and that first leadership responsibility that I took on when I was still a grade 5 student. Of course, a lot has changed. I learned that leadership is not just about opening doors anymore, but you know, it starts somewhere. And in your case, it should start today. And I hope that just by listening to my whatever I'm going to talk about today, you'll realize that you can be a leader in your own way also. But of course, leadership is not something that you're just born with. Leadership is something that you acquire, that you practice with skills that you need to take in order to become an effective leader. And today, I am going to share to you 5 of the most basic actions that you need to take in order to start your leadership journey. In order for you to remember these 5 actions that I'm going to share to you today, please remember the phrase, I care. I-C-A-R-E. I care. Please repeat after me. I care. I-C-A-R-E. I care. Alright, so every letter corresponds to a specific action that I want you to start in order for your leadership journey to begin. Let's start with the letter I. Letter I stands for initiate. Initiate. Now, when we initiate, that means that we cause the beginning of a particular process. Now, if you're given a particular leadership role, may it be president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, PIO, even muse or prince charming, that's a responsibility that you should take. That's a leadership role that you should take. And when you're given that responsibility, do not be afraid to initiate. When you initiate, you start something new. Come up with ideas. Be creative. Talk to your group mates. Talk to your officers. And think about what you can do in order to be the best in the position that you are given. So again, letter I is initiate. The next letter is letter C. Letter C stands for communicate. So communicate, or communication in general, is not just about speaking. It's not just about talking to people. Well, it's good if you're good with speaking, because being a leader has something to do with being able to really talk with a lot of people. But sometimes, communication is more than just speaking. It's also about being able to listen, talking with what their concerns and their issues are. Being someone whom your classmates can easily talk to, right? And share with them your ideas as well. So if you want to be an effective leader, do not be afraid to communicate. Open your eyes, open your ears, open your mind to the possibilities of, speaking with the people around you. And that will give you ideas on how to become a better leader. Up next is letter A. Letter A is adapt. Now, adapting has something to do with being flexible. Adapting has something to do with being able to modify, being able to be thrown into a situation and still being able to live and being still able to adjust to the situation. If you are a good leader and if you want to be an effective leader, you have to be able to adapt to your surroundings. Do not be shy. Do not be intimidated by the people around you. You have to be confident in who you are. You have to be confident in what you can do. Do not let other people bring your self-confidence down. Be adaptive to change and accept change as it comes. Okay? The next letter in the I care phrase is letter R, and it's reach. R stands for reach. Now, it's a very active term, reach, but I'm just really telling you, student leaders and students alike, that if you want to become an effective leader, do not be afraid to reach for opportunities. If your teacher says, okay, I'm giving you this chance to lead the prayer or to host our event in school, do not say no. Always say yes and reach for that opportunity. Because kids, I tell you, everything that I am doing right now is a product of me really saying yes to all that my teachers have given to me before when I was in elementary. Although at some point I felt scared, I'm worried I might fail and that people might laugh at me if I fail in front of people, but that's a learning experience and that's something that you will learn a lot from. Even failures can be sources of learning. So do not be afraid to fail and reach for it. Take the risk and do not be afraid to take chances. Okay, and lastly, the letter E in our I care phrase is empower. Becoming an effective leader has something to do with being an influence of positive change, not just to your fellow students, but also to the world in general. That's a very, very beautiful phrase to know that with just that one life that you have, you're able to change a lot of things and to change these things for the better. And I want you to do that. I want you to empower not just yourself, but also empower the people around you. If you see a classmate who is afraid to take risks, who's afraid to be out there, who's afraid to talk with other classmates of yours, push that classmate. Be that friend, be that confidant, be that someone whom your classmate can lean on to. And that is already a mark of a good leader. Leaders are not authoritative politicians only. They're not just the ones who just give orders and commands to people. Leaders are those who are able to listen and empower, encourage, and motivate others to become leaders in their own right. It's all about sharing the light that you have to them so that they can also discover the light that they have within them. Okay? So please do not forget, I care, I for initiate, C for communicate, A for adapt, R for reach, and E for empower. So at this point, I want all of you to watch a video that will give you an insight about how to start your journey as leaders. This is a very beautiful video, so I want you to look intently to this one, and then afterwards, we'll discuss the video briefly. So that was such a beautiful video, right? Now that video just simply shares the message of hard work and dedication. It shares the message of not quitting and not giving up. If you want to really start your leadership journey based on experience, it's not easy. You'll experience a lot of failures and disappointments from people around you. And just like that flower in the video, do not be afraid to push on and to continue to be an influence to your classmates and to your fellow students. Continue to spread love, joy, and happiness. And as a student leader, always remember, you should care because I care. I stands for initiate, communicate, adapt, reach, and empower. And your leadership journey will definitely and surely begin. Thank you so much for listening to this short video, and I hope that you did learn something from this. If you are wanting and if you're dreaming to become a leader, it starts here. And it should start from always saying yes. From always saying yes to initiate, to communicate, to adapt, to reach, and to empower. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you next time. Goodbye!